everybody, this is Mike Hamilton from Trade the Easy Way on the 4th of June, and a lot of problems with software this week, platform software, so that's why this is in the second half of the week and not earlier in the week. Just wanted to get you to look at this because markets have been tipping back. This is a 20-year average ending last year, back in the last year. That's where they're taking the averages from. So this is typical for the markets to top out in May and June and fall back in late June. These are only averages, so this is not to say this is what's going to happen, but certainly markets have been this week alone just tipping back. So you come into early June, reach these highs and then start to wind back, get a three-wave correction normally, back to support. And if that support holds, then you normally get a move late summer, jitters as we get into the new contracts in September, and then you normally get a rally into the back end of the year. So we are here at the moment, just coming off these highs, backing down into support. It's all a question of if this support holds in this typical 20-year cycle and in the current cycle. So let's look at where we are now. So this is the Dow, and this week, or in fact yesterday, we had tipped back to retest the Feb 26 highs. So markets have done a bit of a topping exercise, and this is the 50-day average. So all the time we stay above this 50-day average, we are bullish, and we will have to come all the way down to just dip under 50,000 just to reconnect with that 50-day average. So that is what we could be doing. If we follow that 20-year average, that's what we'll do into the end of this month. And then if that holds, then we'll start to get to wind up for another leg. So just to look at the sort of pattern that we're seeing here, because I like patterns, I'm sure most of you do. So this long-term trend line, say long-term, this is a 2026 trend line. So we, with the war, we dipped underneath this trend line, and as we came into April and May, we came back to hold and eventually form this upper side of the triangle. So if this is a bull flag, this would suggest we could go underneath 49,000. We could come all the way back down to about 48.5 if we do a full retracement to the most recent support end of May. So early May. So so we could be winding down for a corrective pattern here. If, however, we close above this 51.5, 52, then we're off to the races. We're going up to 53, 55. My guess is, my educated guess is that we're going to follow that 20-year average, and we are going to see some winding down. But the geopolitics out there, that this scenario could pan out if the war finishes and the market gets really excited. But at the end of the day, the basic problem at the moment we've got is that the markets are expensive. All right, so let's drill down to some stocks. Just one thought before we go on to stocks. Let's just look at the dollar index, because I'm really interested in what's happening with this. This is this pink band is the new Fed chairs band. So this is the day, this is ring fenced on the day he started. And my view is if we stay above this high, the 15th of May, then this dollar is going to get higher. If we pop back inside and drop through that support, the lower end of that range, then we're going to drop lower. So my view at the moment is, particularly with the markets correcting, I see this dollar going higher. I see us going back to March highs up there at just above parity. Okay, if you drop back and pinch back, you can see we are, since this drop in 25, we have been range bound with high selling. So the top of the channel would take us back to about 98. If we bump into that channel and fail, then we could even come out on the lower end. So my view is at the moment short-term strength in the dollar, short-term weakness in the indices, which is the normal relationship, and let's see what happens as we get towards the end of June, into the real sort of summer season, lower volumes, and let's see if this picks up and drags the market down further. I don't normally talk about Bitcoin, but let's talk about Bitcoin now, because the theory is that with the SpaceX IPO public offering coming up, that money is coming out of speculative markets like Bitcoin and getting ready, sitting on the sidelines, getting ready to go into the IPO at SpaceX. So we are at the moment coming all the way back down to February lows. If that doesn't hold, we're going to dip under 50. Okay, so quite a severe drop off, and that has affected Ethereum, and this is one of the biggest Ethereum miners, BMNR, and that is already sitting on February lows. In fact, it's just narrowly breached them. Okay, so we couldn't get through that 23.24. We've not technically not filled that gap at 24.6. So if you're in it, be very careful. If you're not in it and want to get in it because you, like me, you think this could pick up and run, then you need to watch what happens down here, see if we go and touch these lower levels, or see if we actually hold and start to build from here. So I'll keep an eye on BMNR. So you see, one of the things that is going on here, the tech market's got so hot. Now this is a tiddly, a minnow IQE in the UK. So this ran up from something like 3 or 4p or something to 72p, topped out, and then we've just recently touched 30. And so if we base here, and this is a head and shoulders, come and test that trendline support and hold, then we could wind back up to 72 plus. Who knows, maybe you can go to £1. So at the moment we are seeing lower highs and lower lows, but at the moment we look lower. We look as if we're going to come and see 40. If this really struggles to come see 20, my best guess is we're going to come back to 38, hold, and then wind back up to that one. So that's worth watching at 38. Currently 46 on IQE. These are just catching up on stocks we talked about in the past. TEP, Telecom Plus, saw a good three-wave correction, but the three-wave correction is not holding. We couldn't get going up here, and so we have come down under the 10 mark, sitting here about 975, 978. So we've got to obviously get back above that 10 if this is going to go anywhere. Otherwise, if this breaks this low, we could come and see 737. Okay. EasyJet. This 340 support ratio down here was breached, but then closed above, and here we are at 465. Very, very nice pattern, as you can see. So the main resistance, or hitting main resistance there at 480, 485. We've actually got a gap up there at 585. So we are very extended up here, short-term extended. So it's a very nice 1, 2, 3 wave correction. If we top out here and see a little bit of profit taking, then the key now is 390. So at 465, any retest of 390 that holds, comes down and holds, that is to be bought. If that is too far, then keep an eye on 433, because if we come down to 433 and start seeing a lot of volume, then that could really lift this and go and fill that gap. But a nice summer drop into 390 could be good. Seasonally, airlines, particularly EasyJet, tend to do really well in the summer because that's when they make the bulk of their profits. Money Supermarket, sitting up here, 180, looks higher. We struggled at 180 before, came down to 170. Volumes are picking up, so it's coming up on volume. So if you're in it, my suggestion is keep your stop out of trouble underneath 170, 175, or yeah, at least 170 to give it at least some room. If you see 170 and you're interested and it holds and volume comes in, then that's a good pullback area to get in. Because at the moment we're looking to see if we can see at least £192 on that one. Shawbrook had a good run into 327, went right back to this range from the 20th of May. So the jury's out on this one. If we break this 280, then we are potentially coming a lot lower, down to 250, and who knows, maybe even lower. But if we can turn around and get this to pick up, and the volume suggests this is lower, I have to be honest. That drop with increasing volume to the downside and these lower closes suggests that this is not happy, and at the very least this could. Okay, so we just come down to touch that support, localized support. So yeah, any pushback above 320 should see this one recover, but at the moment we've got lower highs and lower lows, so be careful on short. So this is Lloyd's, so I suspect all the other banks, Barclays, etc., would potentially have a similar pattern. So again, we've got a lower high here and lower lows. So it looks to me as if we could come and see 90, 92 down here, at which point I think that will be a opportunity to get in, and if that holds, I would wait and see if that drops and holds. Wait till you see an uptick in volume for a high probability trade, and then I think we can get back to £1, 1.15, and ultimately potentially finish the year at 122 plus if this works out. But if at the moment we are just in this range and potentially getting into a tighter range, be careful overall, as you normally are, I'm sure. So this is RBS. It doesn't even look as if I've changed the chart because it's so similar. All right, so be careful on the banks. So there's a few I'm in. This CTEC, I was slightly underwater. I got in about 196, 198, 198 from memory. So we dipped recently to 193, pulling up here today. So if we can sustain £2, then I think we can come and visit the top of this channel around about 237, and longer term wind up to £253. But so if I pinch back and pull back, you can see that you can see this downward channel, but the volumes have been coming in on this low. So for this to recover, we need to go at least above 215, 220 in the coming weeks on CTEC in the UK. Diageo has done a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're currently in a corrective pattern. 1, 2, 3 is the possibility. Could come and see 1560 and then drop. But ultimately, longer term, I'm looking for this to hold, break up, and come and find this drop zone at 19 and 20. Okay, so short term lower, longer term higher, is expected but not guaranteed, certainly not guaranteed, as you know, on Diageo, DGE. Camel, Central Asian Metals. Really surprised to see this one come down here. I'm coming down on volume, so I'm not sure what's wrong with this. I'm underwater. Can't remember the exact price I got in on this, but again, we're coming into this support. We've been down to these levels back in July last year. So July last year we did something similar. Then we broke up in November, went on a lovely run into February, and then of course we've seen this corrective pattern. All right, so I'm hoping this is going to hold. Need to see some decent buying down here, otherwise this is going to come down to 110, £1, who knows, maybe even lower. So I need to start seeing this pick up soon, otherwise this is not going to work out. This is D-Wave in the US. So just have a quick look at DSY. Sorry, this came up on my list, that's why I flicked across. So we went to 31, currently 26. So slightly underwater on this one. If this closes on the 26, this is going to do a deeper retracement. This is one of the companies, one of a batch of quantum computing companies that have won 100 million US contract. I'm not sure is a contract or a fund. Anyway, they've got a lot of money invested in them. It's a quantum computing, which is a very popular sector right now. So I'm just hoping this support holds, and then we start to turn around and come and see 34 plus. Okay, just interested in what happened last October, because we saw this big move up into 47. We saw a 1, 2, 3 wave correction, another 5-wave pattern into 30, and then we saw this a deeper 3-wave correction. So this has got a habit of pushing up and then seeing deeper corrections. So that's why this level is so important. Could come all the way back to this major breakout, which is the 20 mark, if we start closing lower here on D-Wave Quantum Inc. in the US. Sticking with the US, I'm really interested in this service now. Big move up into 136, 137, pulling right back. If we hold on this 10.5 or even come down to 10, I will be buying. Okay, so if we see a 1, 2 wave move and that holds, then we may possibly go back to 170 plus on ServiceNow Inc. in the US. Aviva, so switching back to the UK. Yeah, I'm liking this. We've hit the top of this little channel and popped back. It looks like a very big head and shoulders to me. So shoulder, head, shoulder. We've hit the neckline and seen a lot of profit taking. But if this £6 holds, we close above 620 here, then I can see this winding back into £7, and if it runs 770 plus, if we close under 590, then this is in trouble. But got to see an increase in volume, usual story. I need to see this pop. I've got a gap there at 620. Need to see this close above 620 and hold higher volume, and then that stands a chance. So one to keep a very, very close eye on at the moment. And let's look at, yeah, I mean, for me, Rio, if you're in Rio and it's suffering at 83, then I will get out. So we look as if we're coming down to 75 now. If we hold 75, then we could go and see 90. So it looks like the next stop is 75, 76 on Rio, and Glencore. Glencore's looking very vulnerable. It's been on a decent run. I'm not, we've come from 278 to 625. So we've got this trend line. Yeah, we just came underneath that trend line, this 2026 trend line, and we are struggling. I mean, if it were me, I would be taking profits, but yeah, if you want to hang in there, and we come and find 570 and hold, then we could go and find 650 plus. Very strong stock. Now, up till now, all the pullbacks got bought, so we dipped heavily on the Feb 5th. Not that much later, some week or two later, we were up there at 550. So all these dips so far are getting bought. So it's a strong stock, but it's been on a big run. All right, let me leave it there for now. So not doing an awful lot now. I have got some others. Oh, there's one other one I'll share with you. Yeah, this is Chemring, a defense industry stock. So big move up in 25, decent pullback in the started in the autumn, dropped into end of the year. So we've seen a really nice pattern here. So we are range bound, but if this range holds, and so I'd love this to be back down to 450. If we see 450 in this one and it holds, then I can see it's coming back to 615 and going up to £7 plus on Chemring. So that's top of my watch list at the moment. Right, this video is looking far too long, so I'll leave it there. Hope that helps. Let me know what you are looking at or thinking, and in terms of markets, and see you soon. Bye.